sign with a little pumpkin instead of the O. So you guys should have a little board, some letters, and a pumpkin. The first thing that we are going to paint is our pumpkin. So you were given 3 colors, white, black, and orange, and with those 3 colors we could do tons of things. So we're going to start with the orange of the pumpkin, just because we're going to need a couple of coats of orange. So I am just going to use a big brush, it doesn't matter, and I'm just going to start painting this pumpkin. And like I said, I'm going to put multiple coats. I'm going to let things dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to put another coat on. Once you have about 2 coats, I'm going to put that aside to dry a little, and then I'm going to work on my letters. My letters, I'm going to do them black. And then my board is going to be white, but you guys could do whatever colors you want. So I am going to start doing black. And once again, you're going to need like a couple of coats. The letters are a little fragile, so just be careful as you paint. Once you give everything about 2 coats, you're going to set those aside to dry again. I'm going to go back to my little pumpkin. I'm going to bring him over here, and I'm just going to put another coat. The more coats, the better the coverage you'll get. So I have another coat on him. After I do his coat, I'm going to wash this sponge brush. You might want to put it under a sink to wash it. Sometimes that's better. I have a little bucket of water to the side. But just wash that out as best you can, because we're going to paint our board next, and we're going to paint it white. And you just want your brush to be clean. Mine's not clean at all. Gonna need a lot of paper towels. Alright, so once I have it semi-clean, I'm going to start painting my block. Now my block, I'm only going to do it white. And I'm pretty lucky, I have a little white on my block already. So some of you guys might have that too. So I'm just gonna take some white and start painting my block white. When you're painting, do your edges too. And you're gonna do 2 coats on this too. Once you have 2 coats on that, you're gonna set that aside, let it dry, and we're gonna go back to our pumpkin. We're working in a circuit here. So we're gonna go back to our pumpkin. I am just going to wash out my small brush, and we're gonna add some details to our pumpkin. So what you're gonna need to find is the cap to one of your paints. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a dark orange. So I'm gonna put a little bit of orange on my plate, and I'm gonna put a teeny tiny bit of black. If you have red paint at home, you could add a little red to it. And what this is going to do with your smaller brush and this like almost a brown color, what I'm gonna do is I am just going to, if you see the pumpkin, there's like a dimple on the bottom, I'm just gonna make 2 curved lines in my pumpkin to highlight the shape of my pumpkin. So just 2 curved lines, and then I'm gonna put a little, that brown on the edge as well. So we're just giving illusion of that it's not just a flat pumpkin. So after you do that, what you could do, you're gonna take that cap and you're gonna add even more black to it. What I'm looking for is like a brown, a dark brown color. So I kind of put a lot of black in that, so I'm gonna put a little more orange. And even put a little more orange. Sometimes you'll get a color that looks like army green too, which works out well because the black does actually have blue in it. So once you have that dark color, what I'm gonna do, try not to spread it on your pumpkin, I'm gonna do that stem. So I'm gonna take my little brush and just paint that stem. And I'm just painting it with the brown. I'm gonna go a little into my pumpkin as well. And there we have our little pumpkin. So I'm gonna set that little pumpkin aside. Make sure my letters are all coated nicely and they look pretty good. Always do multiple coats because after the first coat, I always find I miss little places. All right, so now I'm gonna work on this little step is optional. Every step is optional. But what I am gonna do is with my small brush, I'm gonna do a technique called dry brushing. So I'm gonna put a little black on my brush. There's a little fly going around. Take some of that black off. And this technique is just called dry brushing. You have a little bit of paint and you have a dry brush. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to go horizontally, very lightly, and I'm just gonna add some streaks of gray into my background. You might have to go back and get some more paint on your brush. And this is a step, if you mess up, it's not an issue because you could always just let it dry and then paint some white over it. And adding the gray streaks, you don't have to do it again. It just adds that little shabby chic little detail. So once I'm happy with my gray, kind of visualizing what all this is gonna look like, I'm gonna let everything dry. And when we come back, what you're gonna need is some glue. So now we're back. Everything's dry, especially my letters and my pumpkin, and you're gonna need glue right now. So you could use any kind of glue. Elmer's would work good. I'm using wood glue. It's the same thing as like Elmer's glue all, but you could even use a glue stick if that's all that you have. You could use any kinds of glue. Crazy glue works too. And I kind of laid out my home. Look how cute it looks. My home on top of my block. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start letter by letter, and I'm gonna just put a little glue, goes a long way. Just put a little glue and start putting my letters and my pumpkin down. A little glue goes a long way. If you need to spread it, you could use your paintbrush to spread as well. I like using my fingers, even though you don't have to. And it pretty much goes edge to edge. But you'll have most of your glue, you'll have a little time, a little wiggle room to move things around. Alright, so once you're finished with your spacing, you could kind of move things around. Make sure it all fits, it's all straight. And there you have it. It's a little mini home sign. You could put it on a shelf, you could put it anywhere. It's so cute. Alright, I hope you had a good time and check out some of our other projects.